Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie. Hope you're having a nice long holiday restful weekend. I thought I would take this time. This would actually be the perfectly timed video to upload this. I wanted to share my thoughts and feelings and perhaps a theory or two with you guys about where the hell is our sequel to Thanksgiving, more specifically Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving the holiday, but the movie Thanksgiving that came out 2 years ago around this time. So around 2 years ago, wonderful holiday horror slasher film came out called Thanksgiving. I loved it. I loved it so much. I still rewatch it to this day, whether it's around Thanksgiving or not. It's just such a fun slasher horror movie. It had things that reminded me of Scream, of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I just thoroughly enjoyed it overall. I still do. The point is, the film received mixed reviews at best, but it was a box office hit. And 2 or 3 weeks into theaters, they announced a sequel originally intended for this year, for this November, which unfortunately never happened. Eli Roth posted a video on Instagram announcing a sequel to Thanksgiving was in the works. And that was 2 years ago. And so originally I was under the impression that the sequel was going to be released around this time, around this year. Like maybe a week or two before the actual holiday. Obviously that never happened. What do I think happened? Here's what I think happened. I think Eli Roth is a very busy guy. He's got his hands in a number of projects. I know he's got a horror movie coming out called Ice Cream Man or The Ice Cream Man, which I hope isn't a remake of the god-awful Ice Cream Man movie from the 90s. I don't think it is. The point is that he is a busy guy, so he probably has a lot on his plate and just hasn't had the time to make the movie yet. The last update I recall reading was from the lead actress who played our main character. I would almost call her our final girl, even though quite a few characters survived the events of the Thanksgiving movie. I can't remember the actress's name, but she said in an interview earlier this summer, I think it was back in May, I read this online, she said around early or mid-May that the plan was to shoot the film later this year, and she jokingly said, I want Eli Roth to cover me in blood or something like that. I don't know. So it sounds like the plan was, or still could be, to film before the end of the year and then continue filming into next year, and then maybe we'll get it next Thanksgiving. I sure hope so, because I just want to see this movie eventually. What I would also like to see in it are a couple of other things. Okay, now we're going to get into spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen the first Thanksgiving movie, I'm about to reveal who the killer was, so if you don't want that ruined for you because you haven't watched Thanksgiving, which I highly recommend you do because it's a great movie, the killer was revealed to be the sheriff, Sheriff Newland, played by Patrick Dempsey, which I thought was a great twist because he was at the bottom of my list of suspects for who was going to be the killer. And it was just such an interesting turn for the character and for the actor, because normally he's the handsome leading man in rom-coms. And I know he was on Grey's Anatomy for years and shit like that. So for him to play a slasher movie villain was quite unexpected and quite brilliant, in my opinion. Anyway, it was heavily implied at the end of the movie Thanksgiving that he survives the explosion that supposedly killed him. Although we see a nightmare sequence in which the main girl, Jessica is her name, when Jessica has a nightmare about a still alive yet burning sheriff grabbing her and pulling her into a costume filled with closet filled with fire before she wakes up. What I would hope and assume would happen in the sequel is, if we ever get it, John Carver, the caricature of John Carver, the persona of John Carver, which is the mask and the hat and the overall costume the sheriff wore when he was carrying out the murders. John Carver will return once again and will be played by and will be the sheriff again, but this time he's badly he's badly burnt and scarred, and they'll make an attempt to hide his identity, but then they'll reveal at the end of the movie, oh, it was Patrick Dempsey in burnt makeup the whole time. Oh, wouldn't exactly be a shocking reveal, but it would be a nice confirmation to know that he continued with his murder spree, after the original movie ended. A couple of other things I'd like to see. Some returning characters. We had a number of surviving characters who survived the events of the first film. One of the characters who I absolutely enjoyed because he was so damn funny and played so well was McCarty, who was the son of the local gun shop owner and the same guy whose ring helped Jessica and her friends escape from the grasp of John Carver. McCarty was a great character, excellent comic relief, and then he ends up stepping up towards the end of the film when he helps the survivors regroup with Jessica after the sheriff is outed and defeated as John Carver. So I would love to see McCarty return in a much bigger role in the sequel. If that actor can and does return to play McCarty, I would absolutely love to see that. But what I really would love to see is a badly burnt, scarred Patrick Dempsey return as Sheriff Newland, a.k.a. John Carver, and resume his killing spree he started in the first film. And I would hope and assume that's the direction they're going. However, I'm obviously not involved with the film or the script, so I don't know what the plan is, if there's one at all. But that's what I would prefer and love to see as a fan. But we may not get that. Someone else may take on the mantle of John Carver, and that's okay too. Just bring on more creative, memorable, gory, carnage-filled kills, and I'll be happy. So yeah, I hope we get to see the Thanksgiving sequel one of these days. If they don't start filming it soon, before the end of the year, before the holidays, maybe the plan is to film it early next year or most of next year, so it's ready to be released by November of 2026. And then by that point, 3 years will have passed, which is fine. Because originally, it sounded like the plan, and it didn't happen for whatever reason or another. The plan was we were going to get it this year around this time, November of 2025, but obviously that did not happen for whatever reason. I just think Eli Roth is a very busy guy, and that's probably what happened. I haven't heard or read many updates lately. If I had any updates, I'd share it with you guys, of course, but I was Googling this the other day, and I saw nothing regarding this news item, the Thanksgiving sequel, so I don't know what happened, why we didn't get it this year, but my hope is that maybe we'll get it next Thanksgiving. So fingers crossed, John Carver returns to kill once again. So those are the things I'd hope to see in the sequel. Patrick Dempsey returning as the killer, John Carver, and he's badly burnt and scarred, and the guy who played McCarty returning as well in a much bigger, hopefully funnier role. So those are the two main things I'd like to see, besides the other returning characters and potential victims and survivors. So, what would you guys like to see in a sequel to Eli Roth's Thanksgiving movie? Should Patrick Dempsey be John Carver again, or should another shocking character pick up the mantle, put on the mask, and resume John Carver's role in the killing spree, or should it be Patrick Dempsey again? And are there any other characters you're looking forward to? Let me know down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanksgiving is currently streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus, I believe, so you can watch it there if you're subscribed to either one or both of them. And I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And I hope around this time next year, I'm talking about the sequel and how much I enjoyed it. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night and a wonderful rest of your weekend. And, of course, until next time, what's your favorite scary movie?